to yet another section of HPV advocacy and life. And I'm your beautiful host, Obibesebima Priscilla Agokabo. And today we'll be bringing up a special guest, but later in the program, we would have the guests join us on stage. And today we'll be looking at the power of knowledge, which I've titled How Comprehensive Sexuality Education Transforms Decision Making from Adolescence to Adulthood and Prevents Cervical Cancer. So stay with me. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to click on the like buttons if you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube. We had a bit of problem connecting on Facebook. If you're on Telegram, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment. Just say something. Just click on the like icon on TikTok so our live doesn't go off, and on YouTube as well. And we are also on LinkedIn, so you could also watch us on LinkedIn as well. And you give me 1 minute whilst I share the link, and we'll get back and we'll keep cracking. Thank you so much. Okay. Please join us, share the like, share the live, sorry, and do not forget to say hello, hi. And it's so lovely, so beautiful, so amazing to see you today. And it's a beautiful day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And I want to say happy new month. Happy new month, happy new month, happy new month to the month in December. Happy new month. I'm so glad that you are able to join me today. I am so excited to have you. And today we are looking at the power of knowledge. You know, how comprehensive sexuality education transforms decision making from adolescence to adulthood and prevents cervical cancer. So once again, welcome everybody to today's conversation. Today's conversation is one that has the power to save lives, literally. We are discussing how knowledge, especially comprehensive sexuality education, shapes the decision we make from our teenage years through adulthood, and how this knowledge could also help prevent a disease that has taken far too many lives. You know, we have cervical cancer, cervical cancer, cervical cancer. When you hear cervical cancer, you begin to ask yourself, what exactly is cervical cancer? But you don't know that the HPV causes cervical cancer, and most cervical cancer cases can be preventable. Yet, too many young people and even adults are still walking into life unarmed, unaware of the human papilloma virus, unaware of screening options, unaware of what their bodies are trying to say, unaware of what their bodies are trying to tell them. So let's dive into what we were never taught. Okay, growing up, you were never taught some things, you were never taught a lot of things. And let's start with the painful truth. Many of us were actually raised in environments where sexuality, reproductive health, HPV, and cervical cancer were simply not talked about. You could use the comment section. If you think I'm correct, you just use the comment section and let's keep it rolling. So we were raised in an environment where you don't talk about some certain things. You don't talk about sexuality. You don't talk about reproductive health. You don't talk about HPV, and you don't talk about cervical cancer. So we're taught, don't do this, stay away from that. But we rarely were given the tools to, or the skills or accurate informations to know how to, manage life, to know what to say, what to do, how to go about it. Now, this silence didn't protect us. If we're being honest with ourselves, this silence didn't protect us. What it actually did, it made us vulnerable. This silence actually made us vulnerable. And that is why some women today discover cervical cancer at the later stage. Why adults, there are still adults out there that misunderstand the human papilloma virus, why screening is actually inconsistent, and why there's a myth saying that, oh, okay, the myth continue to spread. If you don't have the virus, maybe you get cervical cancer when you're 50, in your 60s, but people in their 30s right now are getting it. So stay tuned, and I will take you through to what you were never taught growing up. You stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Doo, doo. Okay, so welcome back. Please don't forget to click on the share button. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment. And I was telling you that growing up, we were never taught some things. All we were taught was, don't say this, don't do this, you should act a certain way, you shouldn't act a certain way, this is how you should behave, this is how you should react. But we're really given the tools to explore. We're really given the skills or accurate informations. Now, what does this silence? It didn't actually protect us. What it did, it actually made us vulnerable. Okay, so it made us vulnerable in such a way that we were so timid. The silent, it made us vulnerable. We didn't know how to explore when we got to a particular stage and a particular point in our lives. So, and that is what has led so many women to get to discover cervical cancer at a later stage. Now, comprehensive sexuality education fills the gap that many of us grew up with. So this is a reflection prompt I have here today. What's one thing you wish you had learned earlier about your body or your health? So, what is that one thing you wish you have learned earlier about your body or your health? What is that one thing when you were growing up, adolescent age? What is that one thing you wish you have learned earlier about your health or your body? Let's have it in the comment section. What is that one thing you wish you have learned earlier about your body, your health? What is that one thing you wish you have learned earlier about your body or health? What's that one thing you wish you had learned earlier about your body or your health? What's that one thing you think that, oh, if you were taught earlier about your body or your health, you won't make the mistakes you made. You would actually, keep yourself, take care of your body, take care of your health, take care of your well-being. Nothing is going to hinder you, nothing is going to, you know, derail you from your life goals. So what's that one thing that you wish you could say to yourself? So what is that one thing that you wish you had learned earlier about your body or your health? There are a lot of things when you look at it you should have learned earlier about your body or your health, but it's not happening. It didn't happen. So you made the mistakes you made growing up. And then sometimes you sit in your quiet space and you begin to regret those mistakes you've made. You begin to regret those things that you thought you would have done differently, but you didn't have the opportunity to do them. So, what comprehensive sexuality education teaches and why it saves lives actually, comprehensive sexuality education is not about encouraging early sex. So we have here from our YouTube page that one thing I wish I'd learned earlier about my health is the importance of regular checkup. Early detection makes many conditions easier to treat and prevent complications, and that is true. So if you're able to get tested, go for regular checkups, and they're able to catch one of any condition earlier, it saves your life before it becomes complicated. Now we're talking about comprehensive sexuality education. Comprehensive sexuality education is not about encouraging early sex. Please don't misquote me, okay? It's about encouraging informed decisions. When we talk about comprehensive sexuality education, we are talking about encouraging informed decisions, okay, at every age in life, at every point in life. Now we are understanding our body without shame. We are understanding our body without bias. Now, knowing how the service works, whether you're a man or a woman, a male or a female, you are understanding how the service works, understanding what the human papillomavirus is. Now, we are able to recognize abnormal symptoms early. Growing up, you know your body is supposed to take a certain shape, a certain form, and a certain look if you attended biology classes in high school. And then you're being taught about reproduction. Sometimes you're shown images and pictures of how your body should look like growing up. Now, when you begin to see some level of abnormalities, that should be a reason for concern. But in some situations, we really don't tend to worry ourselves over it. We just overlook it and we don't bother. We just tell ourselves, oh, nothing is happening, everything is fine. But no, that should be a reason for concern. When you check your body, it should be a reason for concern. I wrote something down. I said, shame kills, information saves. When you're shy that something is going on in your body or you're seeing some abnormal discharge from your body, you begin to get scared. You're ashamed. Maybe you go to the hospital and then there'll be a stigma surrounding it. Or why is this person looking this way? Or why's that person that way? So it begins to dawn on you. And then before you know, you don't go there to get the needed help or the needed tests you need to get. So let's go to what comprehensive sexuality education actually teaches. Okay, the second one is decision making skills. Now, when people are taught comprehensive sexuality education, it gives people the confidence. So it gives you the confidence. It teaches you what you need to know, how you should do it, what you need to say, or how you should behave at a certain point in life. Now, comprehensive sexuality education gives people the confidence to say, I need to get screened. I need the human papillomavirus vaccine. I need to ask my partner questions before I engage in any form of kind of knowledge with the person. So it transforms fear into clarity. It's not about encouraging early promiscuity. No, it actually transforms fear into clarity. Now, HPV and cervical cancer prevention. This is where the comprehensive sexuality education comes into play. Now, the comprehensive sexuality education becomes a life-saving tool. It becomes a life-saving mechanism, and that is why it's important that it is advocated for or is being taught in our schools, in our high schools, junior high, senior high, is being taught there. It explains how the human papilloma virus leads to cervical cancer. Is a comprehensive curriculum. So it's something that is it's something that is detailed. It's not just, oh, you go to this place, you pick this, you go to that place, you pick this, and then you make it a book. No. Comprehensive sexuality education is a comprehensive curriculum. It's curriculum based, it's detailed. So it contains why it to be able to explain how the human papilloma virus leads to cervical cancer, number one. It teaches us why vaccination matters in our lives, number two. And then it encourages routine pap smears and the human papilloma virus testing. So, we have different myths about HPV, how there's a myth that HPV only affects a certain type of people, or cervical cancer is caused by witchcraft. When I hear some certain things, it just makes me laugh. Then you hear people say, oh, it's because of all the bad things this person A, B, C, D, E has done, and that is why the person has got cervical cancer. Come on now, we could do better. We could do better. We could do better. It's just a myth that is out there, and people have sold the idea, people have sold the conception that, come on, cervical cancer is caused by witchcraft. For you to get cervical cancer, you must have done one or two things for you to get cervical cancer. Now, when people begin to understand boundaries and communication, they are less likely to end up in situations that increases the human papillomavirus exposure. Some of us do not have. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Some of us do not have emotional intelligence and self worth. Our emotional intelligence is minus zero point 0.1. Our self worth has been damaged. Our self worth has been damaged to the extent that we don't even value ourselves. We don't even have that self confidence. Do you know why? Because growing up, that self-worth was crushed into pieces. You can't speak up for yourself. You can't say some certain things. You are afraid. Your self-worth is damaged. Everything is done. So the comprehensive sexuality education will teach you self-worth. It will teach you education. It will teach you how to carry yourself. It will teach you how to present. It will teach you to be outspoken. Because there's this thing, a person who values their body is more likely to protect it. So if you don't know what's going on in your body, how do you know you will be able to protect it? Now, all of us have gone through the adolescence phase, and adolescence is not just the phase, is the moment where beliefs, habits, identity, and sexual health behaviors form. Okay, that is that stage. So once you miss that stage in the life of a child, you miss a lot of things in that child's life. So that is that stage where a lot of things happen. Now, that moment where they, thank you so much, correct feels, that moment where the beliefs, the habits, identity, and sexual health behaviors form. Now, young people who tend to receive comprehensive sexuality education, what happens? They delay sexual debates. Now they make safer choices because you're being taught. Of course, you're being taught. So you should be able to make safer choices. So they make safer choices and they understand HPV vaccinations early. Now, growing into, they begin to, when as they mature, they grow, puberty and everything, they grow into adults who prioritize cervical cancer screening. So let's bring this home. You're teaching a 13-year-old about the human papilloma virus today. It protects the what will happen? You're teaching the 13-year-old now. Thank you so much, Zainab. You're teaching the 13-year-old now. What will happen? It will protect the person when the person gets to 30 years old. Okay. So you're grooming someone to help prevent the virus, to help prevent the virus that will cause cervical cancer in the future. And I want you, if you do not take anything home, I want you to note that adolescence, you see that adolescent stage is the doorway to adult health outcomes. If you, as a parent, as an uncle, as a guardian, you miss that stage, it's going to take the grace of God for you to be able to get that child back into your fold, into your arms. So adolescence is the doorway to adult health outcomes. Now, there are adults that face the consequences of what we didn't learn. Sometimes, yeah, our parents did an amazing, beautiful job. Thank you so much, first. Our parents did an amazing, beautiful job. But if you realize, if you sit back, you think about it, they they didn't really give you that knowledge, that skill you're supposed to have to help yourself from making some crazy decisions. Trust me, if you had that information, the first person you had sex or whatever with, you wouldn't have done it because the information wasn't there. Okay, now when you do it and then you regret and you're, oh, what would I have done? So the deed has been done. So when we now move from adolescence to adulthood, what are we doing? We've lost a chunk of our life because we were not taught. So what happens is that we begin to face the consequences of what we did not learn. So many adults today, they are quietly struggling. Some people are struggling. Some people fear discussing sexual health with their partners. Some people are diagnosed with cervical cancer and wonder why no one told them earlier. And that is why I'm here to tell you right now. And some people have never had the pap smear test done before. They've never had the pap smear screening done before. Girl, you need to get the pap smear screening done. And boy, if your girlfriend, your wife, your side chick, your side bae, your side boo, or whatever, your entanglement hasn't had the pap smear, I don't know why you're sticking your tongue down below, because it's very dangerous. Okay. So this is why comprehensive sexuality education, and this is why I'm promoting it, is not just for children. Adults, as we are right now, we need a comprehensive sexuality education. We need to know things about our body. Okay, even if you say to yourself that you're grown, you don't need it. Come on now. You have, okay, if you don't want to have kids, that one is fine. But you still have nieces, you still have nephews, you still have little children that look up to you. So why don't you learn it for their sake and then give them the education that they deserve? Okay, as adults, we must unlearn shame. We must unlearn the shame, the fear, the stigma. We must unlearn it. We must learn accurate information on how to help ourselves, on how to help our body, and then we take control of our screening schedule. I do not understand why, as an adult, you will stay. We're in the month of December, thanks be to God. I do not understand why, as an adult, you would stay. Thank you, Bansi. Well, as an adult, you would stay from January till December. You've not gone for a regular checkup. You don't even know what your blood pressure is like. You don't even know what your body mass index is like. Come on now, come on. We can actually do better. We can do better. Okay, fine, it's expensive. That I know, if you don't have the money or if you don't live in an environment where is free health access, but we could put it into consideration and take care of ourselves. So we need to unlearn shame and then learn accurate information. Ask questions confidently. You see that thing growing up, they made you so timid that you can't even express yourself, you can't even ask questions. Whenever you're doing things, you're so afraid, you're shy. No, we need to drop that. Okay, we don't need that in this century. So we need to model healthy behaviors for younger people. Comprehensive sexuality education gives adults the language that they were never taught. So it will give you the detail. Comprehensive sexuality education is supposed to give you the detail. So it's not only for adolescents. Yes, adolescents have an advantage, but it's not only for adolescents. It gives you the detail, it gives you the understanding that, okay, if I'd known how my body works, or if I've known how my sexuality works, or whatever it is works, I would be able to handle some certain part of my life. I will not be able to, I will be able to know that, okay, before I stick my tongue down there in any guy's mouth or in any lady's mouth, I should ask, okay, have you done the HPV? Do you know the HPV virus could link you to cervical cancer? These are the questions you should ask. Have you done the pap smear? Yes, I agree with you, my lady. A lot of people have little or no idea of about HPV and cervical cancer, and we are taking a risk. So if we say it's just the old people that are getting it, my brother, my sister, you lie, because right now the young people are rolling in with HPV, with cervical cancer, and also HPV related cancers in men as well. So how will the comprehensive sexuality education prevent cervical cancer across a lifetime? So let's connect the dots. Okay, so we've got knowledge here, and we've got the HPV vaccination. So I'm giving you the knowledge, and I'm also telling you that there's what is called HPV vaccination. So people understand the link between HPV and cervical cancer. So when there's a vaccine uptake increase, what happens? At both adolescents and adult level, we are able to minimize the death rate related to cervical cancer. Now, what the comprehensive sexuality education would do is that it would encourage regular pap smear and HPV testing. Let me tell you the truth. Early detection prevents 90% of cervical cancer deaths. If we are able to, I know in the UK, what they do is, oh, every 3 years, you go for your pap smear screening. So if people are able to talk openly about HPV, and I'm not, when I say people, I'm not only saying females, both the males as well. If they're able to talk openly about HPV, if they're able, the partners, you're able to communicate freely, talk to your partner, not being judgmental, because there was a story I saw on social media today and it's heartbreaking. So this lady realized that she's got cervical cancer and she's going through her treatment and everything. And what does the partner do? The partner comes around and offers her a divorce paper that she should sign it. And so there's no help, there's no assistance, no nothing. So you're leaving the woman to her fate because of cervical cancer. And most importantly, there comes a time that women, you also need to be selfish. Selfish in the sense that we do not open our bodies to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. No, because they are actually the carrier. So you don't know if A has gone to meet Rebecca, and then Rebecca, from that place he met Rebecca, he has now gone to meet Emmanuel. From Emmanuel, so he's moving to and fro the earth, seeking for where to put whatever is in his body. So we also need to seek help. We need to be selfish about our body. We need to be selfish about who will let in. Okay. So if we're able to understand the symptoms like post-sex bleeding, pelvic pain, abnormal discharge, it can lead to early diagnosis and survival. So don't let anybody into your body like that, though, because I would always emphasize it on my life. You see this song, even your boo get it boo, they boo, your boo might get another boo. So that is how the cervical cancer will not, the HPV will not be rigmaroling. Before you know it, to get into your mouth where you're doing, oh baby, and then you're giving, head and everything, and then by the time you know, your oral cancer, God forbid, oral cancer will be loading. It will be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your tonsils will be doing, oh, acrobatic. Let's be dancing there. Let's be top dancing on her tonsils and everything. So it's something we need to, it's come to the point where I would always say you need to be selfish about your body. Yes, you really need to be selfish. You don't open yourself to anybody that comes around that says, oh, I love you, talk your own, or you go for a party and then everybody, no. We are taking risk right now. And the crazy part of this, the HPV could stay in your body, you will not even know. So if you don't even do the screening, my darling, you will not even know that you've got the virus. So please be selfish about your own. I'll keep saying it, be selfish about your own body. They could say whatever they want to say. My darling, be selfish about your body. Now, when we are able to, like I said, early, when we are able to get the lead, we get the early diagnosis, and then we could get survival. Now, this is a strong reminder for you that cervical cancer is one of the most preventable cancers on earth, if only people know how to prevent it. And that is why I'm here to tell you about it. Okay, cervical cancer is the most preventable cancer on earth. So if it's the most preventable cancer on earth, why are people dying from it? Why are people dying from cervical cancer? It's the most preventable. Yes, even married people as well. Married people, tell your spouse, tell your wife to go get tested for the HPV. Tell your spouse to go get the pap smear screening. And if she's negative, let her get the HPV vaccine. So it does not exempt married people as well. So let her go get, because the HPV works in such a way that the first time you have carnal knowledge or intercourse, there is a probability that you are exposed to the virus. But if your immune system is strong, the virus would clear out all these zones. So, what of people that are unfortunate? So, that is why you need to get the HP, the pap smear screening. Okay, so let's get screened. So, cervical cancer is one of the most preventable cancers on earth, but only if people know how to prevent it. So, when I hear people say, oh, this person passed on from cervical cancer, it actually breaks my heart, because it's something that could be prevented. It's something that we could work on. It's something we could try our possible best to prevent. But we are not able to do that. Okay? So you stay with me 1 minute and we will be right back. So, like my lady will say, protect our pearls. Okay, you need to protect, you need to guard it with your life. You need to my baby, my husband will say, you need to bakashaka it with your life. You need to guard it with everything you have. Guard it with your life. Okay, because the thing is, if it happens and then you open to um everybody and you get whatever you get, man, nobody's going to be there for you. You see the smiling faces and everything is going to be difficult. It's a crazy, when you see people that are getting treatment for cervical cancer, it's not a place you want to be. Trust me, it's not a place you need to be. No, you don't want to be there. It's not something you think you can handle. So we need to build a world where knowledge saves lives. We need to build a world where we are able to talk to our kids, our adolescents, where you are, even you as an adult, you're able to talk to yourself. We've made crazy mistakes whilst growing up. If we had a comprehensive sexuality education taught in our schools, my darlings, you will not make the mistake you made. You will never make the mistakes you made. You will never follow the crowd. You will never have peer pressure. You will never be ashamed. It will boost your confidence. You would say things, you would mean them, you will stick to them, you will do whatever it takes to make sure that what you've read in the books, you follow them. But we do not have assets. So now that you have access with me, beautiful people, I would want you to ensure that you take your health seriously, especially when it comes to the human papilloma virus. Get tested, get screened. Anywhere you see me right now, I'm going to ask you, have you done your pap smear screening? If you've not done it, oh, my father, my king. And then the men as well, I'm going to ask you, have your women done the pap smear screening? Or you're just putting and sticking your tongue down there below and taking everything? See, oral cancer is loading. Okay. So if you are a parent, please talk to your children. This is not the time and the age where you want to sugarcoat things. This is not the time and the age where you are trying to make make the protect the child. My dear, these children, they know more than you. Hey, you see that Snapchat? You don't even have to use Snapchat. They know things better than you. Yes, your parents should vaccinate their teenage children. So from 9 to 14 years, it's advisable they get vaccinated for the human papillomavirus. So if you're a parent, talk to your child, sit your child down. It's not the one that you would you're talking to the child and then you are trying to ensure that, oh, this child, this is not happening, that is not, no, don't do that. Don't do that. The reason why you will not do that is because the child knows. Okay, some of these teenagers are already sexually active. So if you're an adult, get screened regularly. And then if you've been silent about your health, now is the time, like right now is actually the time to go get screened. Check your health. Today is a good day to break that silence. We're in December, okay? You don't want a situation where someone will say, oh, this person fell down and the village people followed him. No, get screened. If you're avoiding conversations about the human papilloma virus, start now. If I were you and I was a guy, and before I go down below with you, I would ask you, baby girl, show me your pap smear screening. Or baby girl, show me your HPV vaccination card so that we know. Or if you love the person so much, you could take the person to the hospital to get screened and to get the vaccine. Yes, I know a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, the vaccine is quite expensive. You can't get, I know it's quite expensive. And if you look on my TikTok status and my social media handles, you would realize that I've said we should join my campaign to make sure that we get free or subsidized HPV vaccine, especially in Ghana and Nigeria. So if you've never had the pap smear, please book one. Today, tomorrow, no more. Today. Kindly book one for the pap smear screening and get it done. Book one. And if your children have not been vaccinated, your teenage children, if they've not been vaccinated, please make sure that you get them vaccinated. Consider it today. And do not forget, when we choose knowledge over shame, we choose truth over silence. I'm going to say that again. When we choose knowledge over shame, we choose truth over silence. When we choose prevention over fear, we save lives, ours and those of the people we love. So when we choose knowledge over shame, we choose truth over silence. When we choose prevention over fear, we save lives, us and those of the people we love. Okay, please get tested. So let's bring our guest on the screen and then we'll be here for 5 minutes and we are done because we are almost done. Can you hear me, please? Uh, Hello, can you hear me? Okay, the network is pretty bad. So we'll conclude. Thank you for being here and thank you for learning. And this is how we fight HPV. And this is how we promote comprehensive sexuality education. This is how we prevent cervical cancer. And this is how we build a healthier generation. And it's your girl, Obipesebima Priscilla. Okay? Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you again next week, Thursday. If you've got questions, leave it in the comment section. Chat me up and I'm open. And please get your HPV vaccine. Don't be giving yourself to every person that says I love you or to every person that drives a Range Rover. It is a scam. I love you all and I will see you next week, Thursday, same time, same venue. Bye-bye.